Hey guys, welcome back to Paradise on Pennies. So today I'll give you a little update on our truck and camper issues that we've been having. So we think they're both fixed now, which is the good news. So if you've been following us, so our camper had a little issue with the back, like where those bolts are at. It was like twisting. So there's an L bracket in there and it was twisting upwards and actually like breaking through our roof for some reason. Which, after all of it, we still have no idea why it did it in the first place. But so it turns out there was a piece of rotten wood in the back. So it must have been water like getting in and then rotting the wood where one of the bolts was going through in the back. And so that really had nothing that it was holding on to. So all it had was pretty much the fiberglass on the outside. So I don't know if vehicles, when they pass by, if air like gets up underneath it when we pass by them on the highway. And it got up underneath there and it started like pulling the L bracket up. But either way, it pulled it up and it was cracking through the fiberglass in the ceiling or on the roof. So we had to work on that, and so it was actually a pretty pain in the butt project. We had to take out all the bolts, all 4 of the bolts, and the L bracket is still on there because it's attached through the pole that goes through the whole camper that raises the roof and stuff. So we actually had to unhook that. So there was less tension on it, so we could actually get the L bracket back down to where it was supposed to be, because it wouldn't move, and we were like hammering it through the roof, and it wouldn't go back down to where it was at, or where it's supposed to be. So we actually had to take a pry bar and put it up underneath the bar and raise the roof up, and then it kind of went back to where it was supposed to be. So that was pretty much how we fixed it in the long run. We had to take the crappy wood out, put a new piece of wood in, and then we got some newer bolts, because the ones that are on there are the flat on the outside, or the smooth. So like the carriage bolts. So we actually got like ones with hex heads on it, so we could actually tighten it from the outside, because otherwise it just kept spinning it. So we just replaced them. So, and then we got like this little, I don't know, like sheet of, I don't even know what it is, something out of like a computer, like a little piece of metal. And we put that on the top to kind of cover up the hole where the fiberglass had broken, and we caulked around that. So so far it's been holding on pretty well, and it's been raining, so we haven't had any issues with it yet. But we replaced most of the bolts, and it seems to be doing well. So hopefully that fixes the problem for now. But that's kind of one of the nice things about getting a cheap camper, that really doesn't cost too much. So if there is major issues, it really doesn't matter, because these ones are pretty cheap. So if you get the big expensive ones, then yeah, if you have an issue, it's going to cost you a lot. But this one's kind of a fixer-upper, so you can kind of do your own DIY fixes on it and stuff like that. So it doesn't look pretty, but it's holding, and it's caulked and sealed, so it should be good to go now. So that's the camper issue. Onto the truck, we took it to like a dealership, a small dealership, and they looked at it, and they were thinking they found pieces of metal in down by the wheel bearings and stuff where the sensor is at. Because if you've been following us, we were down in Arizona, we had the issue, and they said there was metal found by the sensor, so we took it to Chevy, and they changed the sensor for us, because they're like, oh, the sensor's bad, and we're like, well, okay, what about the metal? And they said, the metal was no issue, so we just kind of left it at that. And so we took it to these guys, and they said they found more metal, so obviously something was kind of falling apart in the differential in the back, or between the differential and the wheels. So they just tore the whole thing apart, and they replaced the wheel bearings on it. So far so good. Everything seems to be, this light hasn't came back on yet, but in order to get the wheel bearings out, you kind of have to beat them out, so you can't really tell if they were bad or not. But the guys were suggesting that it looked like a piece of metal from somewhere in that vicinity of the vehicle. So we'll keep you updated, I guess, if that fixed it. Hopefully it does. We're tired of having the light coming on and not having a issue that gets fixed. So it's our 4th different place we've taken it to. So hopefully they got it right this time. But so that's kind of our update for now. Everything is kind of back on track now. So just hanging out here in the desert, playing with Tiny Dog. I don't know. There's Cuckoo. He's wandering around. But we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for following.